It is my privilege to call up Senator Scott Brown. I'm going to talk to you. Yeah. Okay. Senator Brown, it is indeed a privilege to honor you, a proud Tufts Jumbo. You received a Bachelor of Arts degree in History, cum laude, from Tufts University in 1981, and subsequently a Juris Doctor from Boston College Law School in 1985. During your undergraduate years at Tufts, as a scholarship student, you were a member of Zeta Psi fraternity, but it was your legendary scoring ability as co-captain of the Jumbo basketball team that really distinguished you outside the classroom and earned you the nickname, quote, Downtown Scotty Brown. Do you remember those days? You have always stressed the positive impact that your Tufts experience has had in transforming your life. In the 160-year history of this distinguished university, you are only the second Tufts graduate to serve in the United States Senate. As a child growing up in Massachusetts, you overcame many obstacles which you did not disclose until your autobiography, Against All Odds, was published in 2011. Your political career began with your election as property assessor in your hometown of Rentham, Mass. in 1992, and progressed with subsequent elections to the Board of Selectmen in 1995, the Massachusetts House of Representatives in 1998, and the State Senate in 2004. But it was your stunning election to the United States Senate in 2010 as a, quote, Scott Brown Republican that catapulted you to national prominence. Senator, you are an extraordinary company, as this is the same Senate seat previously held by President John F. Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, Henry Cabot Lodge, Charles Sumner, Daniel Webster, and John Quincy Adams. Some of you probably didn't know that, but it's true.
No pressure.
Your commitment to those who serve our country has been consistent throughout your political career. Both in the state legislature and now in the U.S. Senate, you have been a leading champion of legislation to protect the well-being of those who serve our country. You have served 30 years in the Massachusetts National Guard with the current rank of Lieutenant Colonel. I hope I got that right. Oh, good, I wasn't sure. Colonel now, wow. I was afraid to say that. I knew it was coming, but congratulations, it's wonderful. It is not surprising that as a U.S. Senator, you were kind enough to meet with a Tufts student who advocated for a 2-minute moment of silence across this country on Veterans Day. You have not only introduced this legislation in the U.S. Senate, but you have also been the leading advocate for its passage. Your advocacy has helped lead to the passage of 2 bipartisan bills, which you co-sponsored and were signed into law by President Obama. Number 1, the Stock Act, which ends insider trading for members of Congress. And number 2, the Crowdfunding Act, which empowers small businesses to raise capital from small investors. Your commitment to your alma mater is evident. You have gone out of your way to help Tufts students obtain internships in your Washington office and graciously agreed to speak at Tufts events. in the nation's capital. Some of your most talented staff are Tufts alumni, including your legislative director, Nat Hoops, who's a Fletcher graduate. I don't believe he's here tonight, is he? But Jack is here. Jack Richard, where are you, Jack? Could you stand up, Jack? Jack is your Constituent Services Council in Boston. So, Jack, thank you so much for coming to support all of us tonight. Senator Brown, you are a proud and distinguished Tufts graduate and a star basketball player, awaiting your challenge to play against President Obama with your daughter Ayla and any teammate the president chooses. It gives the Tufts Alumni Association great pleasure to present you with this Distinguished Achievement Award in recognition of your many, many accomplishments. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Well, first of all, it's great to be here. I remember when this was actually a church, and we come here periodically to pray for good grades. And, you know, it's great to see some of my classmates. Tara is here. I know Phil Swain is here. Actually, Tara and Phil and I, when we graduated, we were 3 award recipients as we were leaving Tufts, and now we're here again. Phil is not getting an award tonight. Sorry, Phil, wherever you are. But Tara and I are. You know, it's interesting, you know, to be here standing in front of you today, and aside from my marriage to my wife Gail of 25 years, and by the way, we got married in the chapel, and the birth of my 2 daughters, 23 and 21, being your senator is the greatest honor I've ever had in my life. And the reason I say that, and I want to bring it forward, is because you're right. Going through Tufts, you have this certain persona. You have there's certain things that probably Tara and others, even my fraternity brothers, didn't know until my book came out. One of the main reasons I went to Tufts is because of the violence in my home and the fact that I needed to be so close to home. And when I got the calls from my sister to come home and save my mom, it you know, it was one of the main reasons I came here, aside from obviously the great academic opportunities and the wonderful basketball program that they had here. But as I got here and I learned to grow as a person, to think outside my comfort zone and participate not only as a basketball player, but joining a fraternity and being in the Tufts Jazz and Show Choir and being in the TCU Senate and being a hero in Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, and expanding my horizons and hanging around with people that I never would have met back home in Wakefield, really provided the framework. And I see Professor Gittleman here. Where are you, Professor? Obviously right there. I spoke to him earlier. Now, he's in my book. And you say, well, why would he be in my book? Well, it's because of my exposure to his Yiddish literature class. As a person from Wakefield, who really, you know, Wakefield was a very, you know, typical suburban community. Not too many minorities, not too many differences. We're all kind of the same, but aside from Senator Lieberman and Senator Kirk, because of Professor Gittleman, my advocacy for Israel and its protection as to what's happening throughout the world right now, I'm number 3. And when Senator Lieberman leaves and Senator Kirk has had a stroke, I mean, I'm the guy. And it's because of him that I got that base, that training, that understanding to open up my mind and understand things a little bit differently than I've been accustomed to. Also, Tufts gave me the opportunity to treat people with goodwill, with dignity and respect, and to look for the good in all people. And by doing that, when I'm in the United States Senate, especially as I was a state senator and a state representative, to work with people of goodwill on both sides of every issue has allowed me to be the second most bipartisan senator in the Senate, and to actually get bills like that and 3 or 4 others passed in a truly bipartisan manner, to look past the partisan differences that are really paralyzing our country right now. That's the stuff that I learned at Tufts. Yeah, it's great. I love to play basketball. I had a great jump shot. I really enjoyed, I can still shoot, by the way. And I'm very modest, you could tell that. But part of that training came here, that base training came here. And to be among many of the folks that are getting the awards tonight is deeply humbling. I mean, you have no idea. You know, to be Scott Brown, and by the way, for those of you who don't know me, and I'll be wrapping it up in a minute, you know, my mom and dad were married and divorced 4 times each, and my dad is happily married, my mom's happily divorced, okay? And I lived in 17 houses by the time I was 18, and I had, you know, some physical abuse and sexual abuse and other things that I'm not proud of, but I wouldn't have changed a thing because it made me understand the challenges that other people have, and probably not much different than many of you here. Those challenges that you had in your life, you kind of put away in a box and you don't talk about. And by having the opportunity to work on things right now, LIHEAP funding for people that can't afford fuel assistance, unemployment benefits that people who need that helping hand need. I remember when my mom was on welfare. I understand those things. So when I'm looking and advocating and working for those people and for you, I take all those life experiences, those experiences I have here, friends I still have in Tufts today who still guide me and work with me. That's what Tufts did for me. A guy from Wakefield who came from nothing, who had all that trouble. Coming here was like a safe haven, someplace I could come. And I know we did the interview. What were you doing at 2 a.m.? I was thanking God that I was here and had that certainty and stability of knowing that I could go to Professor Gittleman's class and I could go to my basketball coach and I could be there with my teammates and my fraternity brothers. That safety net, that's what Tufts gave me. So to get this award, yeah, I know, listen, I'm a Republican from Massachusetts, I get it. Not everyone likes Republicans, you know, I get it. But that being said, I'm also an American first, and that's what we all are here. We're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're not independents, we're Americans first, and we're also Tufts alum here, most of us, and that has a very special bond that has great value to me while I'm serving for you. So I want to thank you all. I'm going to be leaving. My dad has Parkinson's. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. I'm going to go to where he's staying and see him. So please excuse me for leaving, but I want to thank you for the great honor that I'm receiving tonight. Thank you.